What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some r/am I, the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell. And, you know, I ain't got too much to say today apart from thank you so much for your love, support and time, everything you give to the channel, all the comments I see every single day from the same people getting involved time and time again. I cannot thank you enough for what you do. Much love to you, and let's crack on with today's stories. Can I say much love again? I'm going to. Much love to you. And our first story comes from Confident Salad 4512. Am I the arsehole for telling my mum's husband he needs therapy when he tried to guilt me into letting him walk me down the aisle? My mum married her husband James 3 years ago. I, 25 female, was not living with my mum at the time, nor were we in the same state, so I haven't really interacted with him a lot. I got engaged during lockdown last year. We are planning to get married when everything is safe again. I asked my mum if she would walk with me. She said yes, everything was good. Then James approached me about 2 months ago saying he would like to walk me down the aisle. That he knows he can't replace my dad, but he loves me and my mum would love to fill the father of the bride role so I can have someone in it. I told him my mum was filling the parent of the bride role and that made me happy. He pushed a little, told me it made more sense for him to do it. I said no. My mum told me he had just wanted to make the suggestion because he felt maybe I would prefer it. I didn't want to fight so I left it alone. Then he came to me again. He talked about how he lost both his girls, his wife and daughters died almost 20 years ago, and how much it would mean for him to be accepted in that role and would give him a chance to do that with another daughter. He told me even if I don't want it, would I do that for him, so he would have some healing and a chance to be in the role with someone. I said no again and he told me I must be very cold. To know what it's like to lose a father, to do that to someone who lost both his children and is reaching out and offering to do it for you. I told him maybe he needs therapy if it's so hard and he's caught up in the loss of them that he can't see me as my own person, as someone who would want my remaining parent to walk with me and fill that role. He was offended I would make that suggestion. My mum bent over apologising after she heard what happened. I guess she hadn't known the whole thing from before. He's still, I want to say salty, but he's still offended and thinks I overstepped. Did I? Am I the arsehole? And before anyone asks, my fiancé and I are paying for the weddings ourselves. He is not contributing to anything. Now, I don't think suggesting therapy in this situation was particularly the bad thing to do. It sounds like he actually does need it. If he's trying to use like your wedding as almost like a therapy session, if that's not too much to say, that might sound a bit harsh. I didn't mean it to sound that way, but that's what it comes across to me, like he's trying to treat it as some sort of healing for him. Your wedding, walking you down the aisle as some sort of healing for him. That's just not fair to put that on your shoulders. And yes, we do grieve in all sorts of different ways, but you can't put your grief on someone else and manipulate them to get what you want out of them as a way of healing. That's just not fair. So absolutely not the arsehole in my opinion. What you said, therapy is a perfectly logical thing to suggest. But New Drive says, not the arsehole, and quotes, he told me even if I don't want it, would I do that for him? That says, what the fuck? You barely know the guy. He told you to disregard your own feelings on your own wedding day. Tell him to get the fuck out. What is he on? And Coffee Sponge replies to that saying, what kind of man has the audacity to ask a woman he barely knows to turn her wedding into his personal therapy session? Does he really believe that a 45-second walk with a stranger is going to cure him? Why is he asking her to give up what she has planned on an incredibly important day just to cater to his wants? He could have slapped her in the face and said, you mean nothing, I am the only person that matters in this world, and it would have had the same effect. And Bubbly Caterpillar says, not the arsehole, my dearest cousin JK lost both her parents when she was in her early 20s. When we heard the news that she was getting married, my parents, RM and V, had a long discussion with each other and decided they would be graciously willing to play the roles normally reserved for parents, hosting the rehearsal dinner, giving speeches, walking the bride down the aisle. So they called JK and she was simply speechless. Finally, after regaining her composure, she gently told them that they weren't even invited to the wedding. God damn. And Chage says, not the arsehole. If you guys were really close and or he's married to your mum for let's say 10 plus years, cool. But he's overstepped here and instead of backing down, he starts to guilt trip you. And Lara Mila says, not the arsehole, and honestly, he's weird for even having made the suggestion in the first place. He came into your life as an adult, was never a father figure to you, so walking you down the aisle? Nope. And Zevil says, not the arsehole, if he still has problem about letting go of his wife and daughters, suggesting therapy isn't a bad thing to do. He can mourn as long as he needs, but projecting onto you isn't healthy. He overstepped by trying to guilt you into letting him walk you down the aisle. And Bookish4269 says, not the arsehole, your mum's husband was really laying it on thick with you. What a manipulative thing to do. You and your wedding are not an opportunity for him to work through his grief. That's just ridiculous. For him to say even if you don't want it you should do it for him is overstepping on his part. You don't even really know this dude. There's no family bond there. He has no basis to make such demands on you. You're right to put it back on him and suggest that therapy would be a more appropriate place for him to have some healing. It's your wedding and you want your mother to walk with you. No one gets to take that from you. And now I turn this one to you guys. What would you do if you was in the OP's position? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And our next story comes from StuckHere965. Am I the arsehole for not wanting to give my cut of my dad's inheritance? We have a complicated history. My dad wasn't a bad guy, but wasn't necessarily a good guy either. He stepped out on his wife and hooked up with my mum once. She didn't have a clue he was married. Then I, 27 male, was born, but he had no idea. Think I was maybe 6 or 7 when she was able to track him down. So the cheating came out, they almost divorced but stayed together, and my dad wanted to be a part of my life. He'd come around all the time, take me out, help out my mum with money. For a few years my dad tried to include me on stuff he'd do with my half siblings, but they didn't like me, so they bullied me a lot. I met his wife a few times and she was just nasty and mean. So after that he stopped trying and went back to us doing our separate thing. But when I was 14, he started pulling back with contact. Think because it was still causing problems in the marriage. Then he just stopped coming around by the time I was 15. We talked sometimes over the years. They got divorced in the end, but he still never reached out, even when I'd try. He died recently and left me a letter apologising for how he was, and he was too ashamed to try working things out after being out of touch for so long. It also said he knows money can't make up for him not being there, but he wants me to have it. I was speechless. He left a small portion for my half-sibs, but in his will, most of his money is going to me. They're not really happy about it because they say he barely left them with anything and they're owed that money for all the trouble this caused in their lives. But this money, I mean, it could really help with so much, like actually finishing my degree, put a down payment on a decent house and put the rest in a retirement fund or something. My half-siblings and even their mum are coming down hard and won't stop with the messages because I'm not willing to split what's owed to them since they were his kids too. Don't even want to repeat what they say because it makes me feel like shit. I know they're still mad about the cheating and breaking up the family. This probably feels like another slap in the face to them. It's hard because I want to use this money for my life, but I get that coming into their life as the affair child basically made it fall apart, so I can see why to them it feels like I owe them after everything. Am I the arsehole? You haven't caused any trouble whatsoever in this entire story. I'm afraid it was your dad that caused the majority of the trouble here, and obviously siblings bullying you too, which is just disgusting behavior, right? You didn't do nothing wrong. You're a victim in this as well. And maybe if the other side of the family was actually nice to you and you know, made you feel like family, you'd feel completely different about this. Well, I may feel a bit different about this and may, you know, have some guilty feelings towards it, but you know, they were just shitty people to you. They bullied you. And I just think legally and morally, you're okay to keep this money. You're absolutely fine with it. They did get left some money, just not as much as you. And, you know, screw them in the end if they bullied you. And that's all that's going around my mind at the moment. So I wouldn't feel guilty about it. I'll just move on with your life and enjoy it. Put that down payment down, graduate, and then, you know, save the rest for the future. Absolutely. But we'll start with Chaotic Neutral Proud saying, not the arsehole, you owe them literally nothing. Loveless Belikov says, not the arsehole, a will is the will. It's not your fault that he left you the amount he did and didn't give more to them. And Groundrat says, not the arsehole, your dad made the decision. The money is yours to do with what you want/wish. They're not entitled or owed anything by you. If anything, this is a karma thing, and the things they did that you probably don't know about is why things ended up the way they are. Block, ignore, and move on. Sorry for your loss, and good luck. And Sergeant Electrical Eel says, not the arsehole. It was his wish, and if they have a problem they can take it up with his ghost. I say cut contact, block them and move, and put the whole thing in the rear view mirror. And Silver says, not the arsehole. You didn't cause the trouble in their ranks, your dad did. They were punishing you for your dad's mistakes when you were a kid and wanted nothing to do with you. Now you've got something they want and now they'll know you. The money is yours and they are not entitled to it. Block the whole greedy pack and do with the money as you wish. And Ride-Eyed says, not the arsehole, it's his decision. Keep the money. You grew up pretty much without a dad. This is your compensation. It's worth keeping in mind that this is probably the only portion of his liquid cash assets. I'd imagine that his wife has taken possession of the real estate and other property, and eventually those assets will pass to your half-siblings and not to you. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation and how would you deal with it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And just a pre-warning on the next story, it does mention about miscarriages, so I just want to throw that out there in case you'd like to use the timestamps and skip the story, please do so. And our next story comes from No Egg. Am I the arsehole because I assume my friend couldn't handle her job and that's why she quit? My friend and I, both 24, have the same job title and work for rival companies. I love my position. When I'm with said friend, I will talk all about it. She, on the other hand, doesn't say much other than she likes what she does. See, our job requires a lot of both physical and mental adequacy. I've been blessed with both. She's more on the weak side. This isn't an insult, this is a fact. She ghosted me for 3 weeks after she miscarried. When we finally talked again, I started asking her about her job and how that was going. She told me she had quit without telling me why. I just assumed she couldn't handle the work. I'm not judging, again, it takes a certain person for this job. To sympathize, I told her it's hard work, some just can't manage that type of role and that's okay. Out of nowhere, she called me a tactless bitch. She started screaming she quit because she's in grief and pain and her company showed her no compassion, despite the whole staff apparently gossiping about it. This incident has impacted me in so many other ways. My boyfriend actually sided with her, which resulted in us fighting too. His stepdaughter sided with him. My friend has also told everyone in our circle what I said and no one is understanding my perspective. Am I really the arsehole for assuming this? She never showed much energy about this job. Oh dear. Oh my word. There was a line that jumped out to me straight away. Well, the most of it is just absolute arseholish behavior, but where it says she ghosted me for 3 weeks after she miscarried. So I might be assuming, and I might be wrong in assuming, that she knew that this woman miscarried. And then she goes, wow, she ghosted me for 3 weeks after that. And I mean, what the fuck? For real? Are you for real? This woman lost her baby and you're saying she ghosted you for 3 weeks? I don't have words for that. Oh my word. And then she quit her job because her company was treating her like shit, so fair play to her for doing that, although she shouldn't have to. And then you go and treat her in the exact same way with a patronizing, some people ain't built for this kind of job. And again, I'm assuming you already knew about the miscarriage. I mean, come on, man. Oh, how shitty of a person do you have to be? But let's hear from Kat Lur saying, you're the arsehole, she lost a baby, her company didn't give a shit, and apparently neither do you because you describe her period of incredible emotional turmoil as ghosting you. It can take weeks to just physically heal from pregnancy loss, depending on how far along she was and if she had any additional complications. If she needed time to be alone and try to process what happened, that was the right thing for her to do. And you should not be trying to make this about you in any way, shape or form. And Dipped Churro says, you're the arsehole, you have some sort of superiority complex towards her, and why are you assuming she couldn't handle the work? There's a myriad of reasons she could have quit. Anyways, you're saying what you said, but I imagine it came off very, very differently, judging by your way of talking about her. Edit, cough cough, she had a miscarriage. Have a heart and stop being condescending to your friend. And Rita says, and quotes, physical and mental adequacy. I've been blessed with both. And then says, too bad you weren't blessed with adequate tact. You're the arsehole. And Katie the Katie says, you're the arsehole, your friend is not weak for taking 3 weeks off from you after a miscarriage. Based on this post, I think she clearly made the right decision to do that. And Waking Cake says, yes, just about every sentence you wrote makes you the arsehole. And SpotC27 says, and quotes, see, our job requires a lot of both physical and mental adequacy. I've been blessed with both. She's more on the weak side. This isn't an insult, this is a fact. And then says, geez, with friends like this. Honestly, from her point of view, why would she be friends with someone who thinks she's lesser? And then when she tells you she quit, you just use that as proof that you're better, instead of asking her what happened. You're making it sound like you're the victim when you've treated her unkindly. Your friends are pointing out that you are wrong, but you see yourself as the wrong party somehow. You're the arsehole. And one more from Moongirl12 saying, you're the arsehole, she just had a miscarriage. This isn't about her being weak or strong, it's about you being an insensitive ass. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? And is there any way of OP making it up with her friend? Because I just can't see it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And our next story comes from I Am Me, I think. Am I the arsehole for complaining about the gifts my partner got as housemate and her daughter at Easter basket and not me? I, female 27, have been living with my partner, male 37, in his house, and have always felt uncomfortable that he allows a friend, female 28, and her daughter, female 6, to also stay rent-free after she went through a nasty breakup. He has said he doesn't care as he has 5 spare bedrooms and they are friends, the kid is innocent, etc. Now my partner and I have a very open relationship with a few set rules, which has always been great despite a few hiccups, as is to be expected. Lately I have noticed how since he's great with her daughter, our housemate has been making suggestive comments about how lucky I am, how great he is with kids, which has made me uncomfortable. I spoke with my partner who said it's nothing, she's probably just happy that her daughter was happy, nothing more, while mentioning, why don't you, when I cook, play with her, join in, so then it's us, not me, that she mentions. For Easter today, he bought me a number of gifts, but I noticed that in the lounge room he had bought 2 enormous baskets for them both, but not me. He also bought the kid a few toys and put, from daddy, since she thinks her daddy is awesome, and he said he doesn't want to see her sad when she learns the truth about her dad. We then go into an argument because I told him it's bullshit that he's spending quite a large sum of money on them and they're already living here rent free. I told him it would have been better if he bought 3 baskets so then us girls can talk and compare and bond. He agreed and went and bought another one while saying he should have thought it through. I then told him he needs to tell the female 6 that he bought the gifts, not her deadbeat dad, but he refused and said he knows what it's like to have no gifts and no love on important days, so he just wants her to be happy. I told him it's not his responsibility as they have been getting a free ride, which he snapped back saying that this is his home that he owns and that you've enjoyed a free ride too, as he chooses who pays what since he owns it. I got mad and stormed off and told him I won't be talking until he apologizes to me for being inconsiderate. He told me that I really need to think about what I'm saying. Am I the arsehole for trying to force him into telling her about her dad, for wanting them to pay their way? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. And we'll head straight to the comments with this one, with Gel31 saying, you're the arsehole, was kinda on your side till you want to bond by comparing gifts with a 6-year-old. Sounds like you're just mad you're not getting more things for yourself. Don't be with him if you don't want to, but well, this is all just weird. Troy91 says, you're the arsehole and learn what a paragraph is, I beg you. You're very jealous and very insecure, and I don't know that anyone has done anything to deserve that. 1. You don't want your partner sleeping with a friend. Ask to make it a rule. 2. You got presents, didn't get a specific present, so complained and then he brought it you. 3. After getting another present, you criticized his approach to his friend's daughter, and I agree, but it became a fight and didn't need to be one. But you were annoyed he didn't immediately roll over and do what you want. Your boyfriend was right to snap at you and point out that you two were living rent-free and receiving extravagant gifts. You come off as massively entitled and spoiled in this post. And it says, if the mum asks that you do that, then I disagree with mum's approach and your partner is just trying to help. But honestly, just let the 6-year-old have a happy day where she isn't reminded of her dad that doesn't love her. And Jig says, you're the arsehole 100% here. No 6-year-old who currently thinks highly of their parent should just have it blatantly torn down. Let her believe in Santa and this mystery daddy for another year or 2 until her brain can better understand and handle the information. This for your partner also is clearly a touchy subject that he has similar experiences with in his past, so he really just wants a little kid to wake up Easter and see the huge basket and have a great time, not having to worry about messed up shit yet. She's fucking 6, dog. Let her have her peace before she finds out the world sucks. You need to stop being jealous of a 6-year-old getting special treatment over you. That's what is supposed to happen. Instead of being mad, why not come up with an idea with your partner of a way you can both surprise her so you can both be seen as mum and dad number 2. It's a great feeling for both child and adult. Also, we got one for the mum and not you just because they came from her dad, not him, remember. Pretty understandable mistake to make when your thought process is about the child. I can understand why you're not getting one originally did feel weird for you as well though. And one more from Wild Snow saying, you're the arsehole because you seem weirdly jealous of a 6-year-old. Also, it's not your business how she is raised, nor your decision about telling her of very life-changing, damaging things. However, you seem to have lost your trust for your partner, and that's pretty impossible to come back from. Maybe dig a bit deeper to find the real cause of your upset and question if this relationship is still feeling right for you. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now we are at the end of the video once again, and I just want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for the love and support you've been showing me ever since, my dad passed away and everything. And I hate to keep bringing it up, about my dad passing away, but I'm just so blown away by the love and support you've shown me. I come into the comments all the time if I need a little boost or whatever, and you may say that's not healthy to be doing, but if I need a little boost or whatever, I know I can rely on you guys to come in there and just see the love and support, even that you show to one another. It is absolutely mind-blowing, and I can't thank you enough for what you do. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.